topic that, often sparks a lot of questions. The ketogenic diet.
That's right.
But we're not here just to rehash the basics of traditional keto. Nope. Our mission for this deep dive is to really explore how you can customize the power of keto to fit, well, your individual lifestyle, making it not just effective for your health goals, but truly, genuinely sustainable, for the long haul.
Exactly. And we've been immersed in a fascinating collection of sources for you. There's one particular article, Beyond the Basics, exploring alternative and modified keto diets for sustainable success. That's really insightful.
Okay.
It charts the journey from that very strict standard keto approach to more nuanced, adaptable variations. Our goal here is basically to extract those crucial insights, give you a shortcut to understanding how flexibility isn't a weakness.
Right.
It's actually your greatest asset for achieving lasting health.
Okay, let's unpack this then. The standard ketogenic diet. It's got that famously rigid ratio, right? Very low carb, moderate protein, high fat.
Yep, the classic setup.
And it's undeniably shown powerful results for many people. We're talking significant benefits, weight loss, much better blood sugar control, sometimes even like enhanced mental clarity.
Absolutely. The evidence for those outcomes is pretty strong for many individuals.
So what's the core science? What makes that specific ratio so effective, assuming you can actually stick to it?
Well, what's truly fascinating is the body's metabolic shift. It flips into this fat-burning state called ketosis.
Ketosis, right.
When you drastically reduce carbs, often down below, say, 20, 30 grams a day, your body just doesn't have enough glucose for its primary fuel.
Okay.
So it adapts. It's really quite smart. It starts breaking down fats, both the ones you eat and your stored body fat, into these molecules called ketones.
Ketones, got it.
And these become the main energy source. They literally fuel your brain and body when glucose isn't around. It's a compelling metabolic switch, and that's the bedrock of keto's effectiveness.
But there's always a but, isn't there?
There usually is. Our sources consistently highlight a major barrier.
Yeah.
The rigidity, that strictness we talked about.
Yeah.
For many people, that drastic carb cut feels incredibly restrictive. It leads to powerful cravings, for those comfort foods we all know.
Oh yeah, bread, pasta.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it creates real social challenges. Dining out, family meals, it can get tricky.
Yeah.
And importantly, if you're not careful, it can even lead to potential nutrient deficiencies. You have to be mindful about getting a good variety of keto-friendly foods.
Right, so it works, but it's hard to maintain.
That's the crux of it, which naturally leads to the question, if traditional keto is powerful but tough to stick with, what are the alternatives? How can you get the benefits without, the constant battle?
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. Our sources dive deep into a whole spectrum of modified keto diets.
Exactly. These are designed.
Right, they're designed specifically to offer more leeway. The goal is a more sustainable, maybe even enjoyable lifestyle that doesn't feel like you're constantly fighting yourself.
Precisely. The article synthesizes these very easy to use. Each one offers a distinct path, balancing those metabolic benefits with, real-life personal preference, practical needs, long-term sticking power.
So what's the first one was?
First up, we often see the Modified Action Diet, or MAD. Now, it was originally developed for epilepsy management, and it's still used very effectively there. But it's now recognized much more broadly. The key difference: MAD allows for noticeably higher protein intake.
Higher protein. How much higher are we talking?
It varies significantly more, and that's not a small thing. For many, that extra protein makes the diet much more sustainable.
Okay. That makes sense. Protein is so
Partially because it has a higher thermic effect, your body uses more energy to digest it, and it impacts satiety more effectively than fat and carbs. The source notes MAD often starts to strict on carbs, like keto, but then you gradually increase the carb allowance as tolerated, all while keeping that focus on protein and healthy fats. Track yourself.
So still low carb, definitely, but with that wiggle room on protein. Sounds good. But is there a risk that too much protein can keep you out of ketosis?
Protein can be converted to glucose through a process called gluconeogenesis, but these will only happen significantly if your body doesn't need glucose and you're eating excessive amounts of protein while eating carbs. For most people, moderate increases in protein, like in MAD, are more likely to result in slightly lower ketones. If deep ketosis is the absolute goal, classic keto. not aiming for consistent deep ketosis here.
Okay.
But it's a crucial stepping stone for many, or even a fantastic long-term strategy. It allows a higher carb allowance than traditional keto, in the range of 50 to 100 grams of net carbs per day.
Net carbs. So that's total carbs minus fiber.
Exactly. Fiber doesn't really impact blood sugar much, so tracking is benefit. The core idea is to prioritize whole, unprocessed foods.
So it's more carbs allowed.
Yes. And the beauty is it allows for a moderate amount of protein, some starchy vegetables like sweet potatoes or squash, so significantly wider variety of foods.
That sounds much more approachable for someone maybe intimidated by strict keto or just wanting a sustainable, less restrictive lifestyle.
It really is. It bridges that gap nicely.
Okay, but what about those who do want the benefits of deeper ketosis most of the time, but need flexibility for exercise is just light, so events, holidays?
That's where the cyclical ketogenic diet is. This is about strategic carb cycling.
Carb cycling sounds interesting. How does it work?
You follow a standard keto approach for most of the week, say 5 or 6 days. Then you intentionally have short periods of higher carb intake. These are often called carb-up days, typically 1 or 2 days a week.
Okay, with a planned break.
Exactly. The source notes, it's common among athletes. Replenish glycogen stores.
Glycogen so carb energy.
Precisely. It's vital for quick, explosive energy during intense workouts. Keto depletes it, so CKD helps refill the tank for better performance.
Makes sense for athletes.
But it's not just for athletes.
Yeah.
It can be a fantastic way for anyone who occasionally enjoys those higher carb foods, a family dinner, a birthday cake slice, without completely derailing.
So it provides a psychological break.
A huge. It can be incredibly effective at preventing that burnout and deprivation.
Yeah, that typical approach seems like it would really help with long-term adherence, especially around social stuff. But what if you need energy like right now for a workout, but you don't want a full carb day, for example?
And that brings us to the targeted training definition for TKD. This is all about fueling activity.
Targeted concept.
It allows small amounts of easily digestible carbohydrates, specifically around periods of intense physical activity, usually right before or sometimes immediately after the workout.
Just enough to fuel the exercise.
That's the idea. Provide readily available glucose for immediate energy during those tough moments. Support your effort, maybe help with recovery, but without significantly disrupting your overall ketosis the rest of the time.
So it's not a free-for-all carb fest before hitting the gym.
Definitely not. The sources really emphasize that the timing and crucially the type of carbs matter. We're not talking donuts here. It's more about fast-acting, easily digestible carbs. Maybe a small amount of fruit like half a banana, a rice cake, maybe even specific glucose supplements. Just enough to optimize performance without knocking you way off track. It shows how adaptable keto can be even for serious exercise.
Okay, so we've got MAD, liberalized low carb, CKD, TKD. Quite a range. So, thinking about the listener, what does this all mean for you? Why should someone really consider moving beyond that classic super strict keto model? Especially if maybe they've tried it and struggled.
Connecting it back, these modified approaches offer really significant advantages. They directly tackle those barriers we mentioned earlier.
Like sustainability.
Firstly, and maybe most important, yes, improve sustainability. It's about shifting from a temporary diet struggle to a genuine, lifelong approach. Rigidity is often the enemy of sticking to something. The flexibility in these variations isn't cheap. It's baked into the design. It makes adherence less mature and more of an adaptable habit that dramatically increases your odds of long-term success.
And what about cravings? That's a big one.
Secondly, reduce cravings. Allowing slightly more carbs, or actually planned carb ups in CKD, can genuinely help manage those powerful cravings. It makes the whole thing less of a constant mental battle. You don't feel so deprived.
Yeah, not feeling deprived sounds key. And I imagine there are physical benefits beyond just making it easier to stick to.
Absolutely. A wider variety of foods, modified approaches, feed directly to the cancer.
More vitamins, no?
Essential vitamins, minerals, phytonutrients, getting a broader spectrum supports everything from the immune system to energy levels. It helps prevent deficiencies that can happen on very restrictive diets if you're not careful.
Okay. And exercise. You mentioned TKD and CKD helps there.
That leads to better exercise results. These methods can provide the fuel you need for intense activity. Optimize your organs, whether you're lifting, IIT, running long distances. You get that energy you need without abandoning
Makes sense.
which helps you stick with both diet and the exercise.
And then there's the social life. Eating is a fuel, right? Connection.
These approaches significantly enhance social flexibility. Think about it as less stress about declining invitations or being that person meticulously picking apart a restaurant.
Yeah, that is really isolating.
You can. With more adaptability, you can navigate social situations more easily, enjoy meals with others without feeling overly restricted or like you constantly have to explain yourself.
Yes.
It massively improves quality of life. It lets you fit the diet into your life, not force your life around the diet.
So many good options, so many benefits to being flexible. But with all these choices, MAD, liberalized, CKD, TKD, how does someone actually figure out their personal sweet spot? It sounds like there's definitely no single right answer.
Exactly right. And that's okay. The article really stresses this. The absolute best approach, whether it's keto or anything else, is the one you can stick with consistently. Right? The one that truly aligns with your individual goals, your activity level, your lifestyle, your preferences. It's not about finding the perfect diet and effective. It's about discovering the perfect diet for you.
And how do you do that? How do you figure it out?
The key is deliberate, mindful experimentation. The source recommends monitoring these things. Maybe ketone levels, the best course of awareness, resting, your blood monitor, whatever works. But maybe even more important, feel. Exactly. Pay close attention to how your body responds. Your energy levels are inconsistent. How are your cravings? Is your sleep good? How's your digestion? Your workout?
Like a personal feedback loop.
Precisely. Combining any objective data you gather with your subjective experience. That empowers you to find your sustainable and enjoyable path. It's a journey of self-discovery, not just following a rigid set of rules someone else makes.
This guy really has shown me well, way more flexible and adaptable than a lot of people. It's not necessarily about those super strict rules. It's more about understanding the principles and then finding a personal path. One that lets you reach your health goals without feeling totally deprived or overwhelmed or socially cut off.
And that actually raises an important question for you, the listeners. Beyond just diet, where else in your life might you embrace some flexibility, trying some thoughtful experimentation, and looking for personal opportunities? Where else might that lead to more sustainable success and maybe greater overall well-being?
That's a great thought to chew on.
Something to think about as you go about your day.
Well, we really hope this deep dive into modified keto has given you some valuable insights. Maybe it sparked your curiosity for sustainable health strategies that actually fit your life.
We hope so.
Thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to our next deep dive with you.